to my channel. Thank you so much for the support. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. So today I'm here with story time, just sharing my experience of living with roommates since I was young until today. So right now I'm eating oatmeal because I don't normally eat breakfast, but sometimes when I'm home, I try to eat breakfast. However, I just eat small portions. I'll either have fruit or like these packets of oatmeal. It's actually great because obviously I don't like making breakfast for myself. I love making breakfast when I'm gonna eat with friends, family, or with my partner. You know, when I'm eating breakfast alone, it's just like you know, I get really lazy. Sometimes I will make a lot of breakfast, but I'll keep it in the fridge and just like eat it for 3 days or so, you know, especially when I know that I'm gonna have busy days. So this pocket is easy. You just like open it, put in a bowl, and then add hot water, stir it. You can add some milk, but there's no need, honestly, because it's sweet and tasty with just hot water, and just eat it. You can eat like one packet, you know, it's enough because I don't really eat a lot. Or if you really want to get full, 'cause I get full with one packet actually, but if you want like a lot, you know, you can have like 2 packets. I don't recommend 3. Like 2 is enough. If you're not full, just eat fruits, you know, like drink water or something or tea or coffee to just fill up your tummy. So yeah, I just brought one just to show you, you know, what I'm eating is the oatmeal, while I'm talking about my experiences with roommates. So as most of you know, I was born and raised in South Africa in a province called Mpumalanga, city of Nelspruit, in a rural area called Tautau. So I was born there, raised until I was 18 years old. It was a pretty rough childhood. I'll get to that later because today I'm just talking about my experience with living with roommates. But later I'll get deeper, you know, and like talk about my lifestyle, how I grew up, and things like that. So I started living with roommates when I got to university. I started university when I was 19 years old because I took a gap year when I was 18 years old, because I finished high school when I was 17 years old. So my first year getting into university, we were staying in a hostel. So the hostel had 2 single beds, right? And there was like a divider, is it called? So I attended at Nelson Mandela University in South Africa. The university is in a province called Western Cape. Oh, Eastern Cape. I mean, Eastern Cape, Port Elizabeth, which they've changed the city name now to Gqeberha. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. It's Xhosa and I'm Swati. So we used to live in hostels. So in hostels, all the rooms, not all of them, but in each floor maybe you'll find that there's like 4 single rooms, and those 4 single rooms are one room, you know, it's like for maybe student with special needs and student who are in leaderships, and yeah, I think they were dedicated for those, you know. And sometimes they will stay vacant just for emergency, you know, if like a student has a special need where they have to stay alone in a room, then they will allocate the room to that particular student. So how the rooms look like, it was 2 single beds and there was a divider in the room. So the divider, it's where you have your table to like put your books and your computer, It was like your study table basically, so you cannot really see your roommate on the other side. You can see maybe the edges of the bed, but you cannot really like see the face and the body. you know it was a pretty small room but manageable. When you're just like a first year student, you're excited that you got accepted for the degree that you always wanted to do. You're just excited for the future, so it was not really a big deal. It was like really great, and I'm excited. I mean, like coming from rural areas or like townships to like going to a place where there's like a beach and you're in a university. It's like really exciting. You don't care about the room, you don't care about roommates and all of that, because you don't know that kind of luxury. Like for me, that was luxury. you know um so I obviously was doing social work, and my roommate was doing psychology. So they used to put us by our like faculties in rooms, like faculty of health science, da 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 da. So in my block, it was on my floor. So in my floor, it was most students in the faculty of health sciences who were doing like social work, psychology, nursing, pharmacy, radiography, you can name it. So my roommate was doing psychology and I was doing social work, as you know. And then my roommate was really nice. She was a bit older than me because she went to university, and then she finished a degree in financing, I think. And then she worked, and then after that she realized that her passion lies in psychology. Then she came back to university when she was a bit older. I don't know if she was in her 30s, I think so. Yeah, she was like really nice. Even her friends were older. They were really nice to me, giving me like great advices, like treating me like this little sister. And it was like really amazing, having her as a roommate. I remember I used to party. Like I used to party hard first year. And like obviously like consume really hard liquor, and I would have hangover the following day. And she had a car. So in South Africa, there's this restaurant called Nando's. They have this nice tender chicken, very spicy. And eating spicy food when you're hungover, it's really, really great. It really helps you, with the hangover. So she would drive to Nando's for me and go buy me the chicken and bring it back to me, and then I would eat it, drink Coke, and I'll feel much better. Like she took care of me. Like she was like really, really, really nice. And sometimes when she goes out, she'll ask me, do I want to come, and da da da, things like that, because she was driving. She was like really nice. I mean, I had a great experience with her. So that was my first year. Second year, I had a roommate again when I was doing my second year. Very, very sweet girl. She was very nice. We were getting along, doing groceries together. She was more like from a rich family, and I was not from a rich family. So for me to kind of like survive in university, I worked hard. I got good grades. I got bursaries. I got awards. So that's how I got money and to buy food and entertainment and all of that. So I was good. I was also seen like those cool students, because I worked really hard and I was awarded with a lot of money. So yeah, even her parents, they were really nice to me. She was amazing. We had such a beautiful experience, until today. If we meet each other, like, hey Rumi, like amazing. So second year, had an amazing experience. And then I remember during second year, the hostels had to be renovated, so we had to move to this other campus. Fancy campus. It was called Campus Key, I think. Very fancy. If I'm telling you about fancy, like only rich students stayed there because it was a private accommodation. You got this rooftops in front of the beach. There was like a pool table, there was party rooms, there was barbecue stands. It was amazing. The rooms were big, spacious, very nice. You can name it. Really great, yeah. So we moved there, and then I just, after moving there, you have your own room there, but you share the common areas. So was it 3 of us or 4 of us there? I don't remember. I think it was 4 of us, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So yeah, it was great. It was amazing. You have your own room. You have a queen bed. You know, coming from a single bed. It's not even a 3/4. It's a queen bed. Amazing view. Front of the beach. What more do you want? You know, so okay. So after that, I realized that, you know, after staying alone, I don't want to have a roommate again. Yes, I had good experiences living with roommates, but I don't want to have a roommate again. I want to stay alone. So there was that opportunity that I told you about, that you always get a single room if you're in leadership and all of that. And I remember getting into university, I was very shy. I couldn't speak in front of audience. You know, having to speak English as your second language. Also, you know, you don't feel confident, you know, that you could say the right words. You know, like, you just don't want to be laughed at, because I was from the village. I went to public school, you know, and I could hear some other kids. They had this beautiful accents. They were just like speaking English so fluently and easily, you know, and I was just so scared to be out there, put myself out there, and just, you know, present and all of that. But I told myself that, you know what, I want this single room. And getting a single room, it means I have to present, I have to write a speech and present it in front of students. And students, they have to vote for me after that. You know, I was like, what do I do? No, I I want this single room. So I'm gonna do it. Whether they're gonna laugh at me, I'm not gonna get the single room. At least I've tried. I'm gonna face my fears. I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna put myself out there, you know, because if I don't try, then who's gonna do it for me? You know, I wrote my speech, presented my speech. People loved it, asked me questions. I answered. I campaigned for myself, for people to vote for me. People voted for me. I was in leadership, and I got a single room. Yay. In leadership, I'm getting paid, got a single room. Big achievements. You know, it was just so great for me to put myself out there. Like, also talking about the fact that, you know, sometimes you don't want to put yourself out there because, you know, you have to present all these things in English, and you know, English is not your mother tongue, and it's sometimes very difficult to construct right sentences. So that was my third year when I got the single room. Leadership position is only for 1 year. Thinking again, I have to go and have a roommate. And I'm like, I can have a roommate again, and I can afford the off-campus resident. You know, well, I can afford it, but I don't want to waste my money. You know, I don't want to waste money knowing where I'm coming from. At home, they need my help and all of that. Yes, sure, I can afford to pay for an off-campus resident where I can have a single room, you know, and live comfortably. But at the same time, I'm like, I gotta help them back at home. I cannot waste our money on accommodation. So what do I do? back to leadership again. So the next step of leadership that I took was like a higher position where I was RSA means resident student assistant. So you more like work with the resident manager. So you like basically the manager's assistant, you know. That means pay up, good room. Like, you know, the room was a bit better. It was more like of a 2-bedroom, you know, because there's a mini kitchen, like living room ish, with like a bedroom as well, you know. So I went for an interview. Very difficult for me to be in front of people. I think there was like 4 or 5 people on the panel, and I had to face all the questions, you know. It was difficult, but I was just talking to myself that you can do this, girl. I mean, you can do this, you know. And I did it. I got the position. But it's just like a thing for me that I'm just like, I don't like living with roommates, but you know what, I don't mind it at the same time. However, I prefer my own space most of the time. Like, I just prefer my own space, you know. So fast forward, in South Africa, obviously I started working, and then I stayed alone. Then I moved to America. So my American experience, I'm not gonna say much about that. So when I got to America, I was not really living with roommates for 2.5 years, right? If I'm calculating correctly, from 2022 to 2020, beginning of 2025, I was not staying with roommates, but there was a living situation going on. I'm gonna get into that, but right now I can't really talk about that a lot because, as I said, there are certain things that are pending that I can, you know, touch base on, but eventually I'm gonna talk about those things, you know. So I started living with roommates February 2025. I was terrified. I don't want to lie. I was very emotional. I remember when I was moving in, one of the roommates was like, "Are you okay? How was the transition?" I started crying, and she comforted me, you know. However, it was a very great experience. Like, my roommates, amazing. They were very helpful. They made sure that I had everything I needed. Moving in for me was smooth because of them. Until today, like, it's my 2nd month, actual anniversary. Yeah, staying with roommates, and they're really amazing, you know. Like, we live great together, good communication. If there's something, we have a group chat. So they didn't have a group chat, and I created one because I thought it would be great to kind of like, you know, throw something on the group chat if you gotta talk about something or whatever, than having to text individually, you know. So I created the group chat, and you know, if there's something that we want to talk about, we just throw it on a group chat and just discuss it. So yeah, my experiences of living with roommates has been like really, really, really amazing until today. So yeah, I wouldn't really discourage people to have roommates because I never had bad experiences. Like, while I was in leadership in university, I got a lot of complaints and you know, conflicts that I had to resolve all the time because of roommate situations, and I ended up had to like separate them, and I was like, whew, that's a lot, you know, because I know some people, they do go through a lot because of roommates. And I also like to watch true crime, and I've seen that people, they go through so much with roommates, but I have not, you know, experienced that. And I cannot even give you any advice and say, oh, this is how you have to live with people and things like that. But maybe, I don't know, if you have any questions that you would like to ask, how was the relationship, or how did we manage to get along and all of that, maybe I might remember something. If you have any questions that you might you might want to ask. I can think about it. So feel free to ask me questions about, you know, roommates and all of that, because I'm sure I'm like touching on the base. I'm not thinking too deep about how we used to live together and all of that, but maybe if I get a question, I can think deeper about my experiences and share more. So feel free to leave a comment, leave a question, you know, and let's engage more about the roommate situation. So yeah, but what I can say is that I do recommend people to have roommates if you want to have roommates, but just be careful, you know, because yeah, I've experienced like I've observed, maybe I can say, while I was in while I was in leadership. While I was in leadership, because people, they always came with complaints to me. Yeah, thank you so much guys for watching. I'm gonna continue eat my oatmeal now and start my day. I have a weekly vlog that I have to attend to, and also don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. Love y'all. I'm gonna add my oatmeal now.